I hear weird stories all the time, but I never thought I would have my own to share someday. This happened to me about a year ago when I was basically stranded in the middle of nowhere. I'm in a band, and anybody who's in a band knows the struggle can be real. There have been times when we've played in rooms that literally don't have another person in the building. You take show opportunities whenever you can get them. On this specific night, I drove about 2 hours from where I live to play a show in a small town. The other guys in the band offered to drive me, but I told them I would drive myself since I would be driving right from my other job. Because of my band obligations, normal jobs have always taken a back seat, and as a result, I'm broke. I sacrifice bills all the time so I can put gas in my car to drive to these shows. When I was driving to that show, I realized that my gas tank was not in a great position. By the time I arrived, I was closer to empty than I wanted to admit. After the show, my bandmates left before me. I grabbed a drink at a bar and hung out with the locals for a while before hitting the road. It was nearly 2 in the morning when I finally left. I pulled into the 24-hour gas station that was down the road from the bar and I tried to get some gas. Of course, my car wasn't working at the pump. I had $5 in cash on me, so I used that and hoped I could make it home. I wasn't very optimistic. I did try texting my brother to see if he could Venmo me some extra money for gas, and that I would pay him back. But since it was so late, he obviously didn't text me back. I started the long drive home, and I didn't make it very far, as you might expect. I ran out of gas, and I still had almost an hour left to drive. I was sitting on the side of the road, trying to figure out what to do. Service on my phone was terrible, but I could probably get a signal if I got out of my car and tried hard enough. Since it was so late, I didn't really want to call anybody and worry them, especially since I was so far away from home. I thought about just closing my eyes and resting for a few hours until dawn, and then I would call someone. But I didn't know if that was against the law to technically sleep on the side of the road. It felt sketchy. I figured my best option was just to wait out the clock until dawn. I could call my brother and we could figure something out. I tried pulling up YouTube on my phone, but it just wouldn't load properly because of the bad cell service. I felt so helpless just sitting there. It was a real eye-opener for me. I really needed to get my life in order. I was sitting in my car for about half an hour when I caught something out of the corner of my eye. I looked out of the passenger side window, and standing about 30 or 40 feet away from my car was a person with a hood on. They weren't moving or doing anything that was necessarily threatening, but it didn't make it any less terrifying. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. If you see a random hooded person just appear in the middle of nowhere, you'd be a little freaked out also. I made sure I locked the doors, and I just kept my eyes on this strange figure that came out of nowhere. The only time I broke my stare was when I started looking at all my mirrors and the surrounding areas of my car to make sure I didn't see anyone else. There were no other people, no car, nothing. Just this person with the hood on. When I looked back at the figure, I noticed that they were moving very slowly toward my car. Like, unnaturally slow. I never felt so helpless in my life. I was literally in a car and I couldn't just drive away. It was like being stuck in quicksand. Eventually, they were within just a few feet of the car. I couldn't exactly tell what they looked like in detail, but I could confirm that it was a young woman under the hood, probably in her 20s. I tried shouting at the girl with my window still completely rolled up, asking what she needed or if she was okay. She didn't answer. Even though I was freaking out a little bit, at the end of the day, I still felt somewhat safe because I was inside my locked car. When she was standing a few feet away, she stopped inching closer. Then she just stood outside the car. It was the most unnerving moment of my life. Every minute or so, I would continue shouting at the woman, offering help, but just like before, no response at all. This may sound crazy, but I was trying to ignore her. Since I was stranded on the side of the road, I couldn't drive, my phone wasn't really working, and I wasn't about to get out of my car. I just decided to leave her alone. I was trying to sing songs and mentally work on some chords while this strange woman just stood a couple feet away from me watching. Ignoring her proved to be harder than I thought. I couldn't take that horrible feeling anymore. It had to have been 10 times I tried to communicate with this woman. Finally, I decided I was going to try to record her. I pulled up the camera on my phone and tried pointing it out the window even though it was super dark. As soon as I started recording out the window, the woman moved in closer and started banging on the passenger door and trying to open it. I wish I had kept recording, but the panic I felt in the moment caused me to freak out and drop the phone. It almost sounded like she was growling or grunting. The sound was weird, almost unnatural. All of this happened so fast, but I still tried to get a better look at the woman when she was beating on the door. She really did just look like a normal girl with blonde hair. She didn't look evil or monstrous. I wasn't going to wait for this woman to break my window and try eating my face. I grabbed my phone from the floor of the car, my keys, and grabbed my guitar from the back seat. I took a deep breath, unlocked my door, and ran as fast as I could down the road. While I was running away, I looked back, and the woman didn't chase me. I stopped running and looked at her. She was slowly walking in my direction, but not running after me or even breaking into my car. She was just walking in the same direction as me. I shouted at her one last time, asking what she wanted, but still no response at all. She just continued to walk in my direction. That was a big nope for me. I turned back around and just ran as fast as I could. I remember when I was driving to the show, I passed a good amount of nothing. Before all of the nothingness, there was a small town. I planned on running as far as I could in the direction of that town until dawn, and then I would call for help. I realized I could have called the police at any moment, but this didn't seem like a police call in my mind at the time, as stupid as that sounds. Where I come from, you avoid calling the cops whenever you can. It's an ignorant and stubborn characteristic, I know that. At 6 in the morning, I was finally approaching the small town. At the same time, I called my brother and told him what happened. He came to pick me up, and we took care of my vehicle. When we got back to my car, the back door was wide open. We looked inside the car, and nobody was inside and nothing was taken. I had some of my music equipment in the car, and she didn't take any of it. All she did was open the back door for some reason. My brother joked that she probably just wanted a place to sleep for the night, but my mind went somewhere much darker. I thought maybe she got into the back seat to hide, hoping that I would return to the vehicle that night. Obviously, I never saw this woman again. This is one of those stories that I'll unfortunately never have any type of concrete answer for. I've heard all the theories of what this woman wanted and what she was, and they all make sense. At the end of the day, I think it was just a strange, nomadic woman who happened to be wandering in this area I got stuck. I tried not to think of the possibility of what could have happened if she had somehow broken into the vehicle. I did learn something in all of this. I always make sure I have enough gas to get where I'm going now, because I never wanted to be stranded on the side of the road again.